Hello everyone. So you're probably here because you want to see how you can make your own dashboard for Gran Turismo 7 on your PlayStation 5 using potentially a Raspberry Pi. What I'll do is I'll just go through the current steps I go through to, and then we'll probably have another video that will build more on the actual code a little bit more in depth to show exactly what's going on. There's a lot in the background with this, and I think it's great because the other data, there's things in there we just don't know. So stay tuned. Obviously, if you are already liking this, please give me a like, share, and the usual subscribe, because I'm going to play around with a few of these things, and yeah, who knows, we'll get something quite funky. So without further ado, let's get into the stuff. So what I'll do is I'll just show you the kind of background. So we've got the two browsers. So I've got two web pages. So one's my original GT Dash, and then I've got a compact version. They're both basically just tinker areas for me, but both of these reside on my Raspberry Pi. So the Raspberry Pi is the IP address, the port number, and then the files. And I'll just show you exactly what I mean by the files. So we've got two files in here, and again I will share these out. I mean, you can play around with them to hard content. These two files also rely on this particular piece to be running, which is basically the piece of code that is listening to packets of data coming out of the PlayStation 5. And without going to the pure detail of it in this video, is essentially when you're playing the game, these packets of data are being sent out. Now, if you're listening to said packets of data, you can take that data, almost reverse engineer it, and actually find out exactly what it's for. And that data, by what I've read up, looks like it's coming out as 60 times a second, which is quite good. I mean, we're in what is referred to as essentially real-time data. There's a big argument about that, but we're not going to go into that real-time part. But yeah, it's essentially real-time data. So without any further ado, let's just show you on how quick I can get this set up. So I'm going to get this set up in less than a minute. So first of all, what I'll do is I'll start my server. So just this little line here. So Python 3 -m http .server 8000. We'll start that up. I'll give this a refresh and this a refresh, and also just a proof of pudding. So I'll drop a message out. So we can see here, obviously that was initially not working. So I'll just give it a swipe of fat fingers. So you can see I'm mimicking the GT Dash on that one. So now what you'll notice here at the moment, and again here, is my foot has been on the brake when I had this running, and the reason being is the particular file that this is looking at, which is a JSON file, which is this one here. This is the last one that was updated with a value. Now, because nothing else is going through, this is just a static piece of information. So let's give it some more data. So I've got the game running at the moment. So all I need to do is I'll trigger this one. And what we can see here is what I'm asking now is for Python, the Python code start, the GT7 full logger, .py. So basically it's just a Python file, and whilst it's called full logger, I'm calling for everything that we've kind of currently mapped. There's another code that I'm going to play around with, which is literally going to listen for everything that comes out, and then we'll start seeing whether there's anything else hidden. It'd be great to find something, a little Easter egg type thing, but who knows. So what we're doing is we're asking the Python file to look at my PlayStation IP address. So this file here, what we've got is essentially the logging file. So whilst we're actually having the dashboard update, I'm actually recording all of this information. The file can get quite large, but what that allows you to do is it allows you to analyze and do some other data analysis off the back of it. That's another tangent for another time and another video, but we can play around to see some really nice stuff in there. So the next part is what we're doing is whilst we're actually having that done is we're having the live JSON file being updated. So what we'll do is we'll update this. You'll probably see the break then drop to 0. So you can see the breaks drop to 0. that break's got dropped to 0 and the phone's updated. Now to show this, and I'm going to be really chuffed if, let me just flip across to the other one. So that was the one that was, this is the compact version, I believe. No, sorry, I've got these the wrong way around. So this is my original one, so this is this one. So you can see I've got a bit of rendering. And what you'll see now is I'm going to change the gears. And you can see also the packets of data now flowing through. So I'm just literally on the side of the road at the moment. Now let's go back to the compact one because I think this is more funky. So go back to that one. And again, you've got all the tyre pressures. Now I'm going to put my foot on the brake, on the accelerator, and you can see, I don't know whether you can hear this coming through, but my headphones are, you can hear the engine revving. Now what we can then do is I've got to get this right. So I've got a handbrake on, and then we'll take it off, and you'll see tyre temperature's going up. Let's get them toasty. There you go. Let's melt them tyres. So there we go. So you can see that we've got that kind of information coming through, which I think is quite good. And obviously I'm biased because I built this. So I'll just stop here. And you can see that the tyres will start cooling down. Obviously the fronts didn't get anywhere, but the tyres do kind of cool down rapidly. When you're racing around, it's quite good. You can actually see the temperatures rising. Some of the data that I did the analysis on, anything up to about 83, 82 degrees, can vary. On some of the hard cornering, you can go up to 90. Now, the other thing that you've noticed here is it can also display the gears ratios. Now, this I think is quite handy. We can see what it is. Now, I've got some other things going on that I need to play around and tinker with. This says unknown, but I've reversed engineered the little Easter egg in this. This tells you the mapped top speed of the gearbox. So when you're setting it to say 200, 240, 300, this value, there is a correlation and it goes up. I'm going to have to put another video up because it spun my head, but it's pretty accurate. I think this is just a bit of refinement with the code, but it's pretty accurate. But the other one is if I want to flash my lights, oops, wrong button. You can see that I've got the ability to flag on that. Now, if you've got this far, my next step is literally to take that piece of code. When I flash my light, I'm going to get it so it flashes lights on my desk. And anyone who knows me knows I'm an absolute nerd fest for shit like this. So, if you've got, again, this far, please like, share and subscribe. If you do that, the next video comes up, I'm going to go a deep dive into the code itself, at which point you'll be then saying, oh, actually, I might have a go myself. So just whilst we're on about Raspberry Pis, currently, I am running this on a Raspberry Pi 5. Now, yes, it might be a bit of an overkill, and I think it generally is. Now, I have in my hand a Raspberry Pi Zero. This is, I think nowadays, about £15. I'll have to double check. I've had this for so long, it's just been in the drawer. I think I can run this off this little Raspberry Pi, and I will prove it by doing so. I'm just going to need to load an image, put the code across. But apart from that, that could be another little source of playing around. So, again, last port of call, like, share, subscribe. By all means, any comments that you want, just put it through. Okay, catch you later, folks. See you later. Bye.